with us is Mr. MOHAMED ŠADID. He is the president of the Brave Combat Federation, once an MMA fighter himself, special advisor at the Olympic Committee, and the secretary of His Highness Sheikh Khalid. Mr. ŠADID, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
How do you find this event in Serbia? Your first time in Serbia, and Brave is the first time in Serbia.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Excellent. We're super excited to be here. And this is not, although it's the first time Brave is coming here, we have a very strong relationship with Serbia. We worked very closely with the National Federation of Serbia, and we've been planning this for a very long time. It's been almost over a year. We've been planning to make this happen. Of course, the situation was not great in terms of pandemic, and the whole world was suffering from this situation. So finally, we're happy to be here, and it's the first time, but it's also the start to a bigger and longer future for MMA in Serbia.
You're very famous in Serbia. I mean, Brave Combat Federation is very famous here. Because everyone knows that you're trying to create opportunities for athletes regardless of their race, language, religion, or marketability. And talent is all they need. This is what I found on your website.
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on the concept of the Brave Combat Federation?
The whole vision of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, his vision for Brave was basically to make sure that we create a national project out of the brand, and that's the point. In the end of the day, we all have events. There's so many MMA events in the world, but what makes Brave different is because Brave is here not to just make an event and get the best fighters and sell tickets or make money, but it's also about how do we develop the sport in the countries, the sport in the world. And the biggest challenge today in mixed martial art or any combat sport is that we are in the event business and not in the sports business. So we're always looking for how can we sell tickets, how can we sell pay-per-views, and Brave is different. Our goal is to make sure that we find the best fighters in the world and make them compete against each other. If you want to be the best fighter, then you have to be brave enough to be in Brave Combat Federation, and that's the only variable, like we say, and that's why we said that we choose the best fighters from around the world and make them compete. So if you look at our event today in Serbia as well, you see the amateur events going on, and the idea is to make sure that every Brave event has a platform to create the next generation talent, at the same time to make sure that today we're here to discover who's the best Serbian fighter and make them compete internationally against the best.
So Brave is the only combat federation that had events in 7 countries this year. How was this possible?
We always believe in globalization, and that's Brave all about. So if you look at the 25 countries in 5 continents we have traveled, the idea is how do we get the best fighters in the world, and the best way to do that is go to different countries. So we can't sit in one country or one region because that is our market and wait for the best fighters to come. It doesn't happen. If you go there, you look for these fighters, you give them a platform, you make them fight, and that's the only way to get the best fighters. So it is important for us to travel around the world. So if you look at it, we're the first mixed martial art promotion to go to Africa, international promotion to go to African continent, North Africa, and we have the largest market share in Asia because we're the only promotion that's been to South Asia, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, and West Asia. And there's no other promotion that has done that. And that's the key point of why we have the best fighters in the world. And today you will see some of the best fighters in the world coming together to fight against the top Serbian fighters. And that's the whole point about. So we are happy that in Europe we have traveled to all these countries, and the pandemic year was something that people thought that we will stop traveling, but we continue to travel, and we became the most dominant mixed martial art promotion in Europe today.
I understand that you have more than 500 fighters in more than 70 nations. How do you keep up with the list?
I have an amazing team. That's why you need to have a good team behind you. And Brave Combat Federation, if you look at our team in Brave, we have a team mixed of all the countries. Just like how Brave travels to all the different countries, we have a team that's mixed of all the countries as well, to make sure that we deal with language barriers, we deal with cultural barriers, and all the challenges that we have in different countries. We need to have a team that is also diverse and global. And that's the beauty of Brave Combat Federation. But the vision of His Highness was always that although it's a property founded in Bahrain, but Brave Combat Federation is not only for Bahrain, it's for the whole world. So Brave is a gift from His Highness to the mixed martial art community around the world, and that requires to give an opportunity to as many fighters as we can. So we are proud that we have 500 fighters from 70 countries, and we're hoping to keep that increased.
I understand that you yourself and His Highness Sheikh Khalid have once been MMA fighters. Is this the key to understanding fighters' perspective, and how has this affected your way of working?
For sure. I mean, if you look at the amount of sports that we are involved in, there's almost 37 different federations in the country itself. But at the same time, you're talking to over 100 clubs. We're dealing with sports investments around the world, whether it's Spain, France. You look at the international events that we are bringing. So there's a lot of sports we're involved in. But one thing we can say is that because of our background in MMA, I'm sure that there is a soft corner and let's say a personal love towards mixed martial art and combat sports. And that's always going to be there. And that's why for us, we say one thing. You could have all the money in the world. You could have all the power in the world. But if you don't have the passion, you're not going to be successful. You could spend all your money and get the best player to your football club, but you don't have to be in the top place. You will not be in the top of the league. And why not is because how you manage your club, that's key. And to manage a club, you don't need only money, you need passion. And same thing with Brave Combat Federation. His Highness, myself, going through that fighting career, we have the passion, we have the love, and I think that that's one thing that I can promise you, that no MMA promotions in the world are going to be able to bring that passion to the country, and that's one way that we will definitely beat anybody else in passion.
So the Kingdom of Bahrain was recently named the Combat Kingdom. How common it is to see a member of the royal family doing sports and competitions? Not
at all. I mean, it's not common at all to see them get involved with combat sports. And why Bahrain became the Combat Kingdom is because if you look at the history of combat sports 10 years back in the Middle East, you would not see combat sports in 10 years back. You see some promotions, but you never see them as big as football. You don't see them as big as any other sport because you always looked at it, I don't know, we still don't understand why was it not existing. We all know the Muhammad Alis, we all know the Mike Tysons, we all followed combat sports, whether it's boxing or mixed martial art, but you never had a professional MMA promotion in Middle East, you never had a professional boxer or an MMA fighter from Middle East, and we never understood why. We thought it was a cultural thing, that we don't want our mothers are never going to allow their kids to go and fight in the cage of the ring, and we thought that was the reason, and we left it there. Until 2015, when His Highness Sheikh Khalid came up and put his face as a royal family member, son of the king, he put his heart, soul, and his image there and said, combat sports is mine. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to take the sport to the next level. And everybody was like, no, not a good idea. There is horse racing, there is golf, there is tennis, there is sports which are more, more higher level, maybe, in terms of class. Mixed martial art is not that. And he said, I will show you what warriors are, and I will show you what's the heart of these athletes. And if we don't showcase these athletes to the world and what they go through, their heart, their mind, and yesterday was the biggest challenge for these fighters, not today. Today is going into the cage and enjoying themselves, but what they went through yesterday for making that weight to cut 6-7 kgs, nobody who haven't gone through that will ever understand how do you do that and how do you go through that. So we had to showcase their heart and soul, and when His Highness in 2015 stepped himself forward and took all the weight of the combat sports on his shoulder, fast forward 2021, you see the biggest boxing events, the biggest mixed martial art promotions, the world championship, everything happening in the Gulf region. So today, Vegas is not the mecca of mixed martial art. The new mecca of mixed martial art is Middle East. And the reason why that happened was because one person had to take a brave step, and that was the vision of Brave Combat Federation, and His Highness was the one who took that step.
So since your foundation in 2016 until now, you have been to 25 countries, and you exist only for 6 years.
Sure. Basically, I would always say that we've been there for 3 years because the pandemic year was a tough situation. We had to make sure we are still there. We are still doing what we had to do. And these 2 years, what we have done in 2020 and 2021 was for the fighters, not for the promotion. It was not commercial. It was not money-making. We didn't care because His Highness always says that money is not the thing that we have Brave for. It's always for passion. It's for giving opportunities. So we didn't care about how much loss we have. The most important thing was we continue to develop mixed martial art around the world, and we continue to give that opportunity. So traveling to 25 countries is one thing, but to make sure that we travel in 25 countries in 5 continents, that's what makes it even more special. You have promotions that are in one region and traveling to all the countries in one region, and that's okay. But to go to different continents, that's what makes it special, because in the end of the day, many people say that, you know what, my country is different, my continent is different, my region is different. But Brave says that but as long as you're united and you have one vision, we all want to see a national project that develops sports in your country. And as long as your vision is that, don't worry, whichever country we go to, they'll always enjoy us. We'll make sure that we give benefit to them. So Brave Combat Federation today, we always say that it's not an event. it's a national project. It's not a promotion, it's a vision. And we are not fans, we are family, you know, and that's the mentality that we keep. And today in Serbia, we became one family with the National Federation of Serbia, who has done an amazing job for us, and Brave Combat Federation, the National Federation, the amateur team, the professional team. This combination, this unity that we have, I promise you this is going to take the sport to the next level in the country, and we're going to see Serbia become one of the top countries, not only in terms of the building fighters, creating superstars, or creating international events, but also becoming the leader of uniting the region through mixed martial art. And that's a part of having the right team and the right partners, and today we have it in Serbia.
Final question, plans for 2022?
I wish I could, I wish I could make a plan that is more clearer, but due to the pandemic, we're definitely going to have a tough situation to plan anything early. But I promise you one thing, it was supposed to be released before the new year as a breaking news, but I'll break the news here in Serbia on your platform. In 2022, we're going to make sure that we're going to create one of the biggest amateur events in the world in collaboration with the International Mixed Martial Art Federation, and that's going to be hosted in Bahrain. It's something that has never happened. It's going to be the first time there's going to be an opportunity for the international federations, national federations in each country, get an opportunity to make a huge amount of money for the federation. This has never happened before. We always look at working for athletes, we always look at giving the platform, but we forget the people working behind it, and it's always the national federations, and they don't get anything today because the sport is developing. It's a young sport. But the event that's going to happen in Bahrain in March, in collaboration with the International Mixed Martial Art Federation, we're going to have the largest amateur mixed martial art event in the world, and that's going to have an opportunity for the national federations to earn a huge amount of money. And it is based on the world ranking, but there is still 2 wild cards that could be chosen. And we are, of course, we have to have a board meeting and a discussion with the International Federation, but I think there's a very, very high chance for Serbia and their fighters to have an opportunity to be a part of that. And this event is one of that. That's one of the events I can guarantee you is going to happen in 2022 with Brave International Combat Week, which we have every year. 2020 and 2021, we didn't have it because of the pandemic, but this is the biggest mixed martial art festival every year. If you look at 2017, 18, and 19, we have the largest world championship for amateurs happening in Bahrain with the Brave International Combat Week, and we are excited that in 2022 we're going to continue that. And in 2022, we want to make sure that we come back to Serbia once or twice again as a part of our European tour, but at the same time we also want to be part of the neighboring countries like Croatia as well, and that's also a plan we're looking at with Serbia, with partnership with Serbia. We're going to be making sure that the whole region is going to be benefiting from this event that's going to happen today.
Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you, my pleasure.